Digging Japanese Pop. I'm Kaori, and here with me is.
Yoshi here. Hello, everyone.
Yay! Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you so much. In this podcast, two Japanese hosts explore the world of Japanese pop culture. And today,
Yep.
we are going to talk about Japanese food.
Yes. So.
Or like food-related manga.
Yes. So we have to warn you, but this episode might make you very hungry. So.
I mean, I am already hungry.
Me
so,
too.
Yeah.
But well, we do have a lot of like manga about food in Japan, not only for Japanese food, but for any kind of food. And we do have a lot of genres as well within the gourmet manga, the food manga.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have like food review kind of style, or like cooking battle, like slice of life, kind of like, down to earth kind of thing. Or like the food only, it's kind of like gourmet manga, but it's not about food. It's mostly about drinks or alcohol sometimes. Or
Yeah,
even have
yeah.
like fantasy or like historical setting ones. We have so many like subgenres of gourmet kind of manga. And we love to talk a little bit or like deeply about this kind of food manga in Japan. And have you read any of those, or do you have any favorite?
I usually don't read gourmet manga. Like we Japanese call it just gourmet manga.
Good, yeah.
Gourmet manga. But one of I think most of Japanese people's favorite manga is probably Oishimbo.
Yes, Uishimbo. That's like a
Oishin-
classic
yeah.
one, right?
Yeah. It is. I think it has a more than 100 volumes.
Yes.
And somehow you can find them in restaurants or cafe or even laundromat sometimes.
Yeah, they do have that somehow. They do have Uishimbo.
Yeah. For some reason.
Yes.
And it is basically about the protagonist blame restaurants about specific dishes. Like protagonist be like hey, sushi has to be like this. You are not doing this, so you do this kind of
Right.
kind of stuff. It's like I think it's like Google Map review, but in manga. Put the Google Map review into a story.
Yeah.
And,
I get that.
but it has some kind of catharsis at the end. So like they understand each other sometimes.
Yeah.
But most of the time the protagonists just go wild.
Yep. I think he
Or
is like
extreme.
very skilled kind of chef in a way. He knows a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
the
yeah.
food. So he's like, oh, this dish should be prepared in this way. And then it's better in
Yeah.
that way kind of thing, right?
And as a reader, I don't know if what he's saying is actually right or like if he's just saying stuff
Yeah.
or making up some manners.
Yeah. I mean, in
But,
a way, though, like we get to learn how the dish should be prepared. That's like the proper
Yeah.
way, I guess. But we don't
Uh-huh.
really, like it's not like necessary that we have to follow those rules. But it kind
Yeah.
of sets the examples, like how it should be prepared, like how it should be cooked and stuff. So by reading it,
Yeah.
I guess we get to learn a little bit about cooking certain dishes, like how to prepare them, like properly, I guess.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. It's basically the manga series is really good educational material
Yeah.
for like food reviewers, maybe. But I don't know why some restaurants have the series because it just educate the customer and
Maybe.
they might argue about the dishes. So
Yeah.
that's a great mystery of Japan.
But the presentation in the manga, it's so good that, the food in the manga, all of them look so good. All of them
Yeah, I
look
mean,
so good.
usually they go to really fancy restaurants, like expensive. They
Right.
order expensive dishes, so the dishes we don't usually have access to. So it is a gourmet manga in that way. We kind of know the top best of the best sushi, for example, or like Chinese restaurant, French restaurant, and we get to know the glimpse of expensive dishes.
Right.
Yeah, but it also have really good memes. So
Yeah.
I think it is most quoted manga of all
Yeah.
time.
And a lot of
One of the
people,
most quoted. Yeah.
yeah, like I know like there are a lot of like videos, like YouTube videos or like
Hmm.
shorts that actually try to recreate the dish
Hmm.
from the
Hmm.
manga, right? So they follow all the steps he explained, the protagonist explains, and
Uh-huh.
then a lot of people try to make the dish as he
Hmm.
says. A lot of time, like I feel like they end up like making a very, very delicious dish. So I guess for most of the part, he is right.
Yeah, I mean, it's like so. There's a subgenre where like there's a battle between two
Mm,
chefs, also gourmet battle manga.
mm.
I think, and Oishimbo is has some kind of battle
Yeah, a
element
little bit,
in it,
yes.
but it's between the protagonist, the reviewer, food
Mm,
reviewer, versus the chef,
right.
and the protagonist has a logic
Mm,
to prove what he's saying is right. So he does some extreme stuff like a scan, perform the CT scan on sushi, and try to, hey, the density of rice is this, it should be like this, but yours are like this. So that's why your sushi is bad, or that kind of stuff. It is basically a logical battle between
yeah.
the reviewers and the
It's very
chefs.
interesting because
Interesting. Yeah, it's interesting
yeah,
for sure.
as Japanese, like I never thought of it that way, like in that precise way when I eat
Yeah.
sushi. If it's good, I just say like it's good, but I never
Yeah.
thought of like the density of rice, you know?
Yeah, you get to know weird stuff
Yep.
reading this
It's very
reading this
educational.
manga. Educational, yeah, in a way,
But yeah.
But not every Japanese are real harsh on dishes or like a food. So
Yeah.
we love just I love all like every dishes that's served. So as long as it tastes good,
Yeah.
I love them.
And
So
also like in terms of cooking battles, I guess the one
mhm,
of the famous one is of course Oshimbo, but
mhm.
there's also another one like Yakitate Japan.
I've watched the anime series when I
Yep.
was in elementary school.
Me too. I did.
Yeah,
It's
I think
great.
I even baked bread
Mm,
because the anime series was
mm,
so good,
right.
and
I
I
mean,
thought I had the hand of the sun.
the,
It's a
the
thing. It's a
goddess
thing
hand.
in manga.
Right.
Yeah, it's like the temperature is naturally high,
Mm,
and so the protagonist can bake really good bread.
right.
That's the premise of the
Yeah,
manga,
because
and
they
I
make
love.
all the differences with the dough, right?
Yeah. And also, the series revolutionized
Mm,
how to review or like how to express the taste of
mm,
food.
yep.
It has so many weird depiction of how well, like some reviewers just get really surprised about the taste, and it has like weird background images like a volcano erupting or something. It
Yeah.
revolutionized the depiction of like gourmet manga, I think.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's like, the Ushimbo and like Yakitate
Mhm.
Japan is almost about like experts of food, right?
Yeah.
But we also have all these kind of like down to earth kind of gourmet manga as well.
I think that's a trend
Mm,
recently, fairly
yeah,
recently.
I
I think
guess
the
that's
10,
also true, yes.
yeah, 10 or 10, 20 years ago, we
Mm,
have like those gourmet
mm,
manga where they explore the expensive
mm.
meals. But recently, we have more down to earth, day to day meals or restaurants.
Right.
So,
I
do you
think,
have any like favorite
I
food
mean,
manga, gourmet manga?
my favorite is actually Hannah's Lazy Gourmet Life.
I've heard
Hana
of the name.
Tsuborameshi. So Tsuborameshi means kind of like lazy food.
Yeah, like I do the same.
Yeah. So it's kind of like
When I
the
cook the meal, I
mm.
just do it lazy. I don't follow the recipe
So it's kind
really.
of like the dish or the food that you can prepare
Hmm.
like very easily with all
Hmm.
the stuff
Hmm.
that you probably have in your fridge already, kind of thing. So Hana no Zubura Meshi, it's all about like Hana's like lazy kind of
Hmm.
cooking lifestyle.
Hmm.
And so the Hana, the protagonist, is kind of like a housewife living alone who cooks like very, very simple meals using like whatever she
Hmm.
has at home. And because her husband works away from home, so she usually
Hmm.
eats by herself, right? So because of
Uh-huh.
that, she doesn't really want to like weigh too much effort into like cooking, I guess, because she's gonna be eating all by herself. And
Yeah.
she also like, has to go outside and works and stuff. So when she gets home, she's tired. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. I feel the same when I get back home after like long hours of work.
Hmm.
So, so she prepares like really, really simple but very easy to make kind of meals for herself. So her cooking style is very free and also very lazy. Like for example, she just, put cheese and kimchi on the rice and it just put it in the microwave and
Oh,
ate it.
okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
like
I've never tried that.
it's it's actually really good. I tried it. So it's just
Okay.
kimchi cheese rice. But without like
Mm,
any some sort of like, it doesn't require to use any pan or anything. You don't have to stir fry it. You just like put it
yeah.
on it and like put it in the microwave and then there we go. Ready to
I
eat.
mean, good thing about
Yep.
lazy cooking
Hmm.
is it doesn't require any skill. So everyone
Exactly.
can do it.
And there are so many recipes that you get to see
Mm,
in this manga that you can even try. Like I
mm.
tried some of them and they're really, really good. Like the kimchi and the cheese on the rice, or like, like put in using the shio ramen, like instant noodle
Okay.
package
Mm-hmm.
to create some sort of like very easy yakisoba kind of style noodle.
That
So
sounds good.
yeah.
That sounds good.
So it's very like very simple, and she
Uh-huh.
whatever she has at home, she used that on. And sometimes like when you're cooking, sometimes you
Mm-hmm.
realize, I forgot to buy eggs, like I forgot to buy salt, or I forgot to buy this, a specific spice to cook this
Mm-hmm.
meal. And then she's like, okay, fine, I'll just use something else. So I can relate to that. Like I do that all the time as well. Like when I read her like story, I was like, oh yeah, I totally understand, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
That happens in real
yes,
life.
it does.
Like when you find a really good recipe on the web, like we have a like cookpad, which
Mm,
is a huge like database of recipe in
right.
Japanese.
Mm.
I usually look up
Yeah, I
recipe
do
on
that
that,
too.
right? But usually the recipe is so complicated and they use some spice that
Right.
we never heard of or like we never usually buy.
Right.
And I don't want to buy that specific spice
Mm,
for one meal. So we usually improvise.
mm.
And what I do most of the time is just put soy sauce in it.
Yep, that always works.
Yeah, that just, that's totally the perfect solution for
Yes.
every situation. Put soy sauce in it.
Yep. And I feel like by reading this manga, I think you get
Hmm.
to see what Japanese people actually eat at home. Because we're not going to
Hmm.
be like, we don't really eat like sushi home, right? We don't eat like yakiniku every day either. We don't eat like like tonkatsu every day either. So it's like kind of like our daily kind of like local kind of food style you get to see
Hmm.
in this manga. And I think it's really great because I think a lot of tourists when they come to Japan, they go for like sushi, all these kind of like
Mm.
very famous, well-known Japanese dish. And of course, they're amazing.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I know like when you're traveling, you want to try for something really, really good, right? But because of that, probably you don't really get to see what locals really eat home. And I think it's
True,
very hard
true.
to find out what those dishes are. And in this manga, you get to see all of that in like very, very lazy kind of way, like easy cooking style. So even some of them, I think people can try to cook
Hmm.
those because it requires only like few ingredients and probably you would probably need like a bit of soy sauce, but I think most of the stuff you can recreate them and I did, and all of them are really, really good. So
Mm.
I think it just shows, like how easy the local cooking can be in Japan. And of course, all the Japanese food, I know that like it's really well known to be really good all the time. But, like the charm of this manga, I feel like it shows the meals can be enjoyable even they're not perfect? Yeah, like
That's a great
with,
message. Yeah,
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 and then, like even simple food can be delicious
yeah.
with a
Hmm.
tiny bit of creativity. Yeah.
Mm.
I think that really shows that. This manga shows that. And it's really, really real because that happens all the time at household, right? And when I
Yeah.
cook, it's not like I have to like go buy all these like fancy ingredients. I just like try to make something out of what I have or what I can get from like local stores. So I think you get to see that, like how local Japanese cook home. And I think it's just great, great manga
Hmm.
to see that. And also, like how she eats all these like easy cooking kind of dishes. It's just, she looks so happy eating it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's the best thing
I know.
when you're cooking, right?
Right. And like, because she's home alone, she sometimes
Uh-huh.
cooks alone. Like, she always cooks alone in the kitchen, right? So she doesn't
Hmm.
really care what she wears. So sometimes she
Huh.
just cooks only with her underwear and stuff like that.
Isn't that kind of dangerous
I guess.
when
But
you
I mean,
cook?
she wears some sort of top, like a t-shirt or tank
Okay, okay,
top.
okay,
But
okay.
like she doesn't wear pants or skirt
Oh,
anything. She
right,
just
right,
wears
right,
like
right.
underwear. And I think it's just so relatable to a lot of people.
Mm.
Cause at home, like so when you're all by yourself, you don't really like go for like fancy clothing, right? You just
Yeah,
wear like
yeah, yeah,
very
yeah,
easy
yeah.
pajama, like you sometimes you choose not to wear them.
Hmm.
So and there's like
Especially in summer.
yeah,
Yeah.
in summer
Go
for
wild. Go wild.
so there's like a lot of like realistic elements put into
Mm.
this manga, like how local Japanese live and how local Japanese eat home.
Is there
Yeah.
any your favorite recipe in the manga?
I would have to say the shio ramen thing because I tried it
Okay.
and it was really, really
Uh-huh.
good. I think there were like a
Oh.
trend also
Mhm.
like in Japan, like there was a lot of people creating YouTube shorts, cooking, like using all
Mm.
this like instant noodle, but not cooking the way it should be in a way like
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
so they use the noodle, they boil the noodle and a hot pot and then like take it
Mhm.
out and use the soup but then use this powder, the soup powder, like maybe half
Uh-huh.
of it and mix it with something else.
Okay.
And then like sometimes it's like with like sesame oil or like with mayonnaise
Mm,
and then
okay.
just
It's
mix it with noodle, so it's more like dry
yeah.
noodle, kind of like stir fry noodle style.
I can imagine how it would taste, and I'm just getting hungry.
Yep, me
Man,
too. So there are
it's so
a lot of these kind of like
nice.
genres, manga as well, and this is one of the things that I really, really love because it shows so much about how local really live. I'm not saying like every single one of the Japanese people are living like Hana, but it's just
Uh-huh.
like, sometimes we do that. Sometimes like when
Yeah,
we were
yeah,
like too
yeah.
tired to cook some sort of fancy meals, you go for what you have in the fridge and try to be creative, right? And still create
Yeah.
something really good, very simple. Like sometimes she just go for white rice because that's all she has, and raw egg, and then mix it with the rice with a tiny bit of soy sauce, like we call it, like tamago kake.
TKG. TKG.
TKG, yeah, we call it TKG. Tamago kake gohan,
Kake gohan.
TKG,
Yeah.
right. And it's like something like very easy to cook. Like it's not
Hmm.
even cooking, you're just mixing them, right? But it's really, really
Yeah.
good. Well, I guess with the quality of egg, that's why we can do it in Japan because sometimes,
Hmm.
like most of the time in other country, people avoid using raw eggs, right? So be careful
Yeah, I
with that.
yeah,
But
I actually had a raw egg in America because my friend's dad kind
mm,
of forced me to.
yeah.
He was like, Japanese people can eat raw eggs, right? And I was like, yeah. And I was kind of being forced to eat it in
Oh,
America.
I
And
hope you
I
didn't get food
don't
poisoning.
think that's safe. That's safe
Yeah, so
thing to
just be
do in the
careful
US.
about raw
Yeah,
egg. Yeah, just
but
because, right.
in Japan, it
Sometimes,
is,
I mean, most of the
yeah,
time we can eat eggs. If they're fresh, we can eat it as raw, like a
yeah.
cooked version. So sometimes, we do that in Japan, and I think most of the time for Hana, she does
Hmm.
it mostly every day, and I think it's
Mm,
great
nice.
in a way, like how she doesn't really care too much. But she still wants to eat something good, right? So
Hmm.
she is
Hmm.
very creative and she uses whatever she has in the fridge in her kitchen to make something nice for just for
Mm,
herself. And I think is this great. And I think all these kind of like daily life, down to earth kind of manga is kind of
mm.
trending in Japan. I think one of that is the Nohara Hiroshi's one.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I've
Nohara
seen the anime on
Hiroshi's,
Netflix and there's also manga.
yeah. Hirumeshi no Ryugi.
Yeah.
I don't know the English title, but it is basically a spin-off of a Crayon Shinchan.
Yep.
The dad, Nohara Hiroshi, is just go to lunch and have hirumeshi, which is lunch, and he usually finds a really great restaurant, but it's not a fancy restaurant. It's just a ordinary like soba restaurant or like tonkatsu restaurant. He usually find a really good down to earth restaurant because he has a limited allowance.
Yeah, he does have the budget, like very tight.
Yeah, he
budget.
does. He tight budget, so yeah, he goes to those restaurants, and I love how down to earth it is and how real it can be. Because I go work for a company every day. I go to the office every day, and I have to have lunch. I usually have bento with me because I don't want to spend extra money on expensive meals.
Your wife cooks for you?
Yeah, most of the time, and most of the time
that's so
I just
sweet.
put the leftovers from the previous day.
That's very nice.
And yeah, it's a really loving bento all the time. And but sometimes I forgot to, or like we cannot prepare the meal, prepare the bento, and I have to go on the lunch. And usually it's around 1,000 yen.
Yeah, you're trying to keep it within like 1,000 yen.
Yeah, but Nohara Hiroshi is just he has a very limited allowance. He just go to the 500 yen restaurant stuff.
We call it like one coin nanji.
Yeah,
I guess with the raise of like living costs and all these kind of like expenses. I mean like all the price of commodity kind of got a lot more expensive. So maybe these days it's very hard to find one coin. It's like 500 yen with just one coin because we have a 500 yen coin, right? So we call it like one coin lunch.
It's the biggest coin in Japan is 500 yen. And yeah, it is a thing. It was a thing, maybe.
Yeah, we probably don't really see them anymore that much, as much we used to see, but yeah.
Because now I'm living in Kanagawa Prefecture, which is kind of close to Tokyo, but not in Tokyo, and I can find a restaurant where the budget range is around 1,000 yen. But when I was working in Tokyo, I couldn't find a restaurant like with 1,000 yen.
It's usually like the cheapest would be like 1,200 probably.
Yeah, something like that. And yeah, and the restaurant is not that good because it's just the place is expensive,
right?
The rent
everything
is
in Tokyo is just expensive,
restaurant.
Right?
So yeah, now I have more options because I'm out of Tokyo, but it is Nohara Hiroshi actually goes to the office in Tokyo, so he just find a really good place. Also, it shows a really local food like yakisoba,
right?
Like, which is, I believe, is a dish from Kansai area, the western area.
It is? Okay. Didn't know.
I think so because that's like Osaka's, soul
yeah, like
food.
Okonomiyaki, yakisoba,
Yeah, okonomiyaki.
All these are kind of like Osaka's food.
Okonomiyaki, takoyaki, yakisoba. But you get to see the different type of yakisoba.
In Tokyo.
In Tokyo, yeah. Like Nohara Hiroshi is from Akita Prefecture, which is the northern part of Japan. And there is a Yokote yakisoba, I believe. It's a really local food. And it means so much to him because it has so many memories from Akita. And he kind of explained how he feels about the meal. So it is not just a meal. It has the memory or culture revolve around the meal. So I love the series and I love how different it is from Kansai.
Right.
So Japan's a tiny country relative to America, but it has so many areas. It has so many different cultures, and you can feel the difference.
Right.
Like, I can feel the difference.
Even in all these like tiny like one dish, within those one dish, there are like several kinds how to cook it in Japan because of the different regions have different kind of ingredients they mainly use, right? So like Tokyo, I'd say it's like usually it's sauce, like kind of like flavor. And then like in Kansai area, it's more like dashi kind of
Oh yeah.
flavor, probably.
Hmm.
So like even in those like miso shiru, like miso soup, have like different kind of miso, the
Yeah,
different
like
region
there's
use,
white miso, red
right?
miso, and
Right.
the like kind of
Hmm.
miso. So there were so many variety of
Yeah.
miso. Well,
And then
shoyu
yeah,
actually has
that's
so
very
many
true.
like sweet soy sauce or like
Yeah.
more dashi kind of soy sauce.
Mm. I feel like the all these like food manga in Japan explain all these differences really, really
Hmm.
well
Hmm.
within the dialogue or like what they think in their head. So like by reading those, you get to see all these like how Japanese food culture is, like really is, because it's very hard to see. By just
Hmm.
looking at the one of the miso soup you get at the restaurant, you don't know what kind of miso they use, right? But
Hmm.
in the manga, you get to see like if they're having this like miso soup with some sort of different type of miso they used to have
Hmm.
in a miso
Hmm.
soup, then they'll talk about it in their head or like they'll say it out loud, right? And then like you get to see like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, so there are like many kind of miso that people use depending on what region they're from. So I think it's like one of the things you get to find out from all these food manga, and I think it's just so great because even I'm Japanese and sometimes I don't even know about those things. I didn't know that
Yeah.
yakisoba has like so many kind of, like different kind of sauce they use, right?
Hmm.
Until
Hmm.
I got to read all these kind of food manga, gourmet manga, and that's just one of the great thing about it.
I mean, I was surprised that when I found out there are three biggest yakisoba in Japan.
Yeah.
It's one of them is Yokote yakisoba, one of them is from Gunma, one of them is from Shizuoka, and I was like really surprised that it
Mm,
doesn't involve Osaka at all. And yeah, it's a that you read when you read gourmet manga,
mm,
you get to know the world you didn't know. So if you have any like plan to travel in Japan and
mm,
you don't yet to decide what to eat,
right.
it's a really good start to read
Mm.
manga. I mean, Oishinbo, maybe, but don't believe in it too much because they are too harsh on
Yeah,
dishes.
sometimes about
So,
rules like how to eat
yeah,
sushi, like
yeah.
like how to eat sushi and
Hmm.
stuff. Like
Hmm.
we usually don't really care
Yeah.
if you enjoy it, that's fine. Like
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
enjoy it in your way. Although like probably don't be rude to the people
Hmm.
around. But yeah, I mean there are so many things that you get to learn from food manga. I think, and like like there's like so much like creativity put into it, and then like there are like cheap and comfort kind of food and lazy cooking,
Hmm.
and of course
Hmm.
there's like you get to discover regional foods like local foods, and also like you get to see how people actually try to eat like locally, how
Hmm.
people usually eat home or like at the one of the restaurants for lunch, and you get to see all these like glimpses of like real life in Japan. I think that's like the appeal of the gourmet manga, and then I think it's just so great. So if you don't really know much about Japanese food, or you want to know a lot more about Japanese food or the food culture in Japan, I think food gourmet manga is the one to go. And this talk is really making me hungry.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's a
Yep,
dangerous part of gourmet manga. When
yep,
you read it, you should be like well fed
yep,
when you read
mm,
gourmet manga because it makes you hungry really
yep,
so much. I am hungry
yep. But
already. Hungry. So.
I think experiencing Japanese, like Japan's real dining culture through manga
Hmm.
is just amazing entertainment. And if you have any sort of gourmet manga, food manga that made you hungry in the past, or if you have any like Japanese dish you love to try, please tell
Hmm.
us in the comment. We'd love to know. Maybe we can
Yeah, yeah,
find
yeah.
the gourmet manga that explains about it, maybe. So we'd love to know what you think about those manga. And if you have any sort of recommendation as well, please let us know in the comments. And this program is brought to you with the support of manga app Monkey. And I believe the manga we talked about today, except for the Nohara Hiroshi's one,
Yeah, it is. I think it is not translated
yet.
in English. The
Yeah.
manga version doesn't
Mm.
translation,
But I
but
really
you
hope that I
can
would.
watch. Yeah, yeah, I really hope.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
but
the
it has an
Hannah's, yep,
anime
yep,
series,
it
so.
does on Netflix. And the
Mhm.
Hannah's Lazy Gourmet Life is available. And the other one we
Oishinbo,
mentioned, yeah, Ushimbo
Oishinbo.
is also available. So please check the link in the description. And please follow the show, leave the rating if you can, and send us your comments. We love to see your comments. So thank you
Yeah.
so much for tuning in, and see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.